The next thing we're going to talk about is going to be a light mod. So to remove the reflector, we're going to grab the two B's, bring them into position towards the center, gently lift this away, being careful not to strike the strobe tube. On this light mod, which is what the manufacturer calls this, we've got a 6-inch reflector, and then it's got this extra piece mounted to the front of it. It's going to mount on the light the exact same way as the last one. We're going to push the B antennas towards the center, bring it in gently without hitting the lamp, set it against the housing, and let it hold it in place. So without anything in this is exactly the same as this reflector. It's really just a reflector. However, what this gives us the opportunity to do is now place other things in front of the light field. The first thing we're going to talk about is going to be a snoot, or a top hat as it is often called. Inside of that we have a grid, and then we have a cone that's at the end. So this gives you a very, very narrow beam of light. And what we do with that is on the front of this light mod, we've got 2 tracks. On the outside track, we're going to take this and we're going to slide it into place. Just like that. And now that is secure. The important thing to remember with this is if you're placing it on top of a boom, do not mount the light mod upside down, because if you do, that falls out. All right, so that is a top hat or a snoot. It gives us a very narrow beam of light. Next we have what are called barn doors, right? These are going to slide into that same slot on the front of our light mod, just like so. And they have these little wings that open up on the left, the right, the top, and the bottom. What this allows us to do is flag the light, right? So by placing this in the path of the light will not continue off this direction. It's going to go the direction that the light is focused in instead of going everywhere. So these are called barn doors, all right? They all fold back up, then they come away. The next light mod we have is going to be our softbox. So this is the softbox. It looks kind of like a kite, right? On the front we have a white face, and then on the back is all opaque, and it's actually reflective on the inside. It is all mounted to what we call a speed ring, right? And this is the ring that's going to mount to the front of our instrument. Whenever we're handling the softboxes, always grab them from the outside. Try not to stick your hands into the center of that ring. It scrapes against metal when it's mounted, and it can get a little bit sharp and cut you a little bit. So always try and grab it from the outside. Whenever we're dealing with these, we need to set them down. Please always set them down with the speed ring on the floor and the white portion facing up. That way the white doesn't get dirty. Once that gets dirty, then they're no good to us anymore. So we're going to release the light mod from the front of the instrument by pushing in on the 2 alien Bs. Set that off to our side. We're going to grab our softbox by the outside of the speed ring. Now what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze these 2, and just like we did with the reflector, we're going to gently bring it in, place it on top of the top 2 points first, and then gently release. And now that's mounted to the front of the light, right? Nice thing about the speed ring is that we can take it, now we can spin it. So we can run this horizontally or vertically, depending on what your need and application might be. All right, so that's how we mount a softbox to the front of the instrument. These are 24-inch softboxes. To remove them, same thing, grab it from the outside of the ring, pull the Bs, and gently pull it away. So that is a softbox. We also have octoboxes. Same thing, it's just 8-sided as opposed to a rectangle. They work the exact same way. Grab them by the speed ring and you'll be okay. Make sure whenever you put them on the ground that they are white surface up. Another one we have is what we call a beauty dish. This hangs up on the wall right over there. On the front of the beauty dish, there's a skirt. We're going to take that skirt off. We're going to set it to the side. So this is just a big circular reflector. This actually creates a circular catch light in the model's eyes, which has been very popular over the last couple of years. No speed ring attached to this, it's just a big metal plate. We're going to do it the same way, but you'll notice there's a hole in the center of this on the top. We want that to be at the top of the instrument, and you'll see why in just a second. We're going to grab the two antennas of the alien bee, gently bring this over on top, place it on top of it, let it contract, and then it's stuck to it. This is to block the instrument so that the flash tube does not get exposed straight to the skirt. This is what gives you the circular catch light. So this is mounted to a rod. We'll take the rod and we'll push it straight through that hole in the top of the center. Then on the instrument, there's a locking pin. Unscrew that. So then you can slide that rod into the housing on the instrument. You'll notice that that sits exactly in front of the light source. Then we take our skirt and we apply the skirt to the top of the beauty dish. So now we have a completely round softbox, right? But it's not a softbox, it's a beauty dish, but it works the same way as a softbox. All right, so that is a beauty dish. To take it apart, it's just a reverse process. Pull the skirt off, loosen the lock nut on that, compress the alien bees, slide this away gently. This goes back on the inside of it. Skirt holds it in place. And it stores on the wall over there. The last module we have is going to be our background reflector, right? So this is a small piece. Typically you would put this on top of a small light stand, but we're going to use this taller one right now. What we're going to do is face that the direction you want it to go, compress the two bees, let go of it, and now when we tip this to a vertical position, this is going to stop light from going this way, and it's going to light everything that's over here. So it's used to light a background or something that's behind your subject. So again, it flags the light on this side, allows the light to all go out on this side. So that is the last of the modifiers that we have in inventory in this building. Now I have one more thing to show you, and that is going to be a grid on top of a softbox. Okay, so now we're going to talk about putting a grid on the front of a softbox. The first thing we got to do is we got to get this background modifier off. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt the light forward. I'm going to lock that in place. We're going to remove that modifier by compressing the two alien bees. We're going to grab a softbox. Try not to drop it like I did. Grab it from the outside of the speed ring, just like we did before. We're going to take that and we're going to gently bring it into the instrument, trying not to hit the flash tube. Get it to set flat, lock in place. Now once that's all locked in place, we'll go grab this box out of the cabinet. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the piece that's inside of it out, and we're going to unfold it. So this is similar to the honeycombs or grid spots that we have that we put inside the reflectors. We're going to unfurl this, we'll grab it from the top, and it's got Velcro on it. The mate to that Velcro is on the front of the softbox. Gently apply that into place. Come down into the bottom. Then we do all four sides. So now what we've done is we've turned a softbox, we put a grid on the front of it. So that just like the grid on the reflectors, this grid gives us a bit more directional control of the soft light. Soft boxes obviously make soft light. That's why they're called soft boxes. So these grids just give us a little bit more control. We also have grids for the octaboxes, which we've talked about earlier. Same kind of thing. Okay, so that's how we mount a grid to the softbox. To remove it, please very carefully peel it away, right? When they build these, they don't stitch them very well. So what happens is people grab them from the corner and just pull all willy-nilly. When that happens, it starts to tear apart, and they really can't be fixed too easily. So when removing them, try to be as gentle as you can with it. Don't just grab it and pull. Actually work your way all the way around. Once it's off, it's going to compress itself. Goes back into its box. And as I stated earlier, they all live inside of the cabinet on the bottom left-hand side. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, we have some gels. We're going to go ahead and remove the softbox. Okay, so to attach the gel to the front of the light mod, make sure you have the large clips. Hold it to the edge, compress the clip, and mount it right to the front of the instrument. Right? Now, always use the large clips because the smaller ones don't work very well. Never, ever, ever apply tape to the gel and tape it to the front of the reflector. If you do so, the tape will melt and then it becomes all gooey. The gel has to be thrown away and then the light mod has to be cleaned off. All right? So the clips all live on the cable rack. The gels all live in the bottom left-hand corner of the cabinet. All right, so that is our inventory of modifiers that go to the instrument.